how you doing today? Today we've got more r/I don't work here lady. I hope you all enjoy, and if you do, please like and subscribe and comment so the YouTube algorithm stops murdering my channel. Okay, let's go.
Next story. I don't work here. I own the place. Reading another post about lawns and weeds reminded me about this incident last month. Background. I'm a small Chinese woman living in a predominantly white neighborhood. Our house has a large front yard. We like to do the gardening ourselves. I don't speak with an accent, and I usually use a very English name for easy communication. I called for a free estimate from a local duct cleaning service and scheduled it on a Saturday. My mom and I were in our front yard planting flowers and de-weeding, chatting family stuff in our own language while enjoying the nice weather outside. We were in full gardening gear, complete with straw hats and rain boots with face masks on. A white truck with a trailer drove up, and a middle-aged man jumped out. Guy, waving me down. Hey, where's the owner of the house? Me, pulling down my mask. Oh, you must be that duct cleaning service. Please, come in with me. Guy, annoyed. No, I need to speak with the landlord. Me, chuckles. I am the landlord. Do you need to come into the house for the Esta? Guy cuts me off. No, I need to speak to the person who made the call. Me pulling out my phone. Okay, hold on. Dialing the company number. Guy pulling out his phone. See, the landlord's calling me. Me. Hi, I'm English name. I'm standing right in front of you. I don't think I will be needing your services today. Goodbye. The guy stood there, dumbstruck for a moment, then sulkily walked to his truck and left. My mom looked at me confused and asked in Chinese, What was that? I shrugged and answered, Looks like we need to call another duct cleaning company. Armed guard mistaken for store employee. Lady gets arrested. So first, and foremost, this is my first time posting here to Reddit, so please let me know how I do. Now to the story. So I work as an armed guard for an armed truck service. For those of you who don't know, we are responsible for picking up money and checks from other businesses, i.e. banks, stores, restaurants, etc. As part of my job is handling large amounts of cash, I carry a sidearm or handgun for those not into guns in order to protect myself and the money. Where I live, you have to have what's called a concealed carry permit to have such a firearm outside of work hours, which I have. So I'm on my way home and I have to stop at the store to pick up dinner for myself. The store I go to has employees that wear a blue polo and tan pants. My uniform is black pants and red polo with the company name on it. And as I had just gotten off work, I still have my name badge on the sidearm and the holster in my hip. Cue crazy lady. I'm browsing the freezer aisle and she stops me and starts to ask where product Z is. She stops dead in her tracks as she sees the gun in my holster. Stops talking and fast walks out of the aisle. I just assumed she realized I don't work there and left to find someone who does. I go about my business and proceed up to the cashier line. As I'm waiting to get up to checkout, in comes a swarm of about 8 police officers. They come straight to me with crazy lady behind them shouting, That's him! That's the man with the gun! They point their guns at me and order my hands up. I drop what I have and comply. I state I work for Company Z and that I have a permit for my weapon. They lower and holster their weapons after the commotion and apologize for the confusion, but they got a call about a guy walking around the store waving a gun around. I say, I'm sorry, but since I've been here, my gun has been holstered. Never left the holster. They turn to the lady and ask if that's true, that I never took the gun out of my holster. She yells that I'm lying and I can't have a gun in the store anyway. They, of course, go and check the security footage and see that I did absolutely nothing wrong, and let me go on about my business and apologize for the misunderstanding. They then turn around and handcuff the lady who called and told her she is being arrested for misusing the 911 system and inciting panic. Not sure if this entirely belongs here, and I'm open to comments. Last story for now. I don't work here, and my husband's essentially your boss. I'm on a burner account in the improbable event that this would get back to anyone involved. My husband works for a pretty prestigious university as the director of student life. He oversees a decent-sized staff, and their work encompasses all manner of student activities, groups, Greek life, etc. A little background before I get into the incident. A few months ago, we were expecting our baby. Most people on campus knew this, and knew that my husband, let's call him Joe, would be taking paternity leave, and when the big day came, I called him at work and told him it's go time. Meet me in the hospital, and he dropped everything and ran out the door. As you do. In the delivery room, we had plenty of downtime. So from the time he checked his work email while I rest, he's looking through it and goes, "What the fudge?" A professor wrote him the most caustic, unhinged rant, basically saying, "I came into your office to see you about a matter concerning my students, and you weren't there despite the department hours clearly stating 8 to 5. This is unacceptable and unprofessional. Contact me immediately," etc. He lulled and said, "Won't she feel silly when she gets out of his office?" Reply, but no, 10 minutes later, she's harassing him again. Finally, he sent a very terse reply, and it seemed that was the end of it, but not for long. Every day for the next week, this professor came into the office, demanding to know if Joe was there. More than one tear was shed by the staff during this time. I don't know exactly what she was saying, or why no one else could do what she needed, but the staff was kind enough not to burden Joe with this while he was on paternity leave. But reports are it was like having an angry dementor come through. On the first day Joe returned to work, he goes to meet this professor face to face. He was in his office, on FaceTime with me actually, when yelling erupts from down the hall. "Uh-oh," he says to me. "Bet that's her." We hung up, and what conversation happened in the office door can only be imagined. Or maybe he told me and I forgot. Hashtag newborn life. But by all accounts, she was cantankerous, irate, and incorrect in what she was trying to do, and could not be told otherwise. As he is in charge of the department, but not her, he could only put his foot down on the request. But not the behavior. Finally, she left, and the whole situation was done and dusted, finished and forgotten. But again, not for long. Fast forward to yesterday, I decided to pop in with the baby to surprise him, and hopefully we could go to lunch. Also, show off the baby, of course. We arrived as it was squeeze all around the office staff, and one of the ladies took the baby for a tour around the building. I've been holding that kid for 3 months straight, so I was happy to let her. Joe's admin assistant told me that he was in a meeting for another 10 or so minutes, and then she went off on the baby world tour, so I decided to sit in his office and enjoy merciful silence. But as you guessed it, not for long. Enter the professor from hell. I knew it was her before she said one word. She looked like an ivory tower Karen with, "I want to talk to your dean. hairdo. PFH. Does nobody do any work around here? This is outrageous. Where's admin assistant? Why is Joe even on payroll if he's never here? Go find him. What? I said. OMFing are you too effing hungover to accept a single direction? What the frick is wrong with you? I'd kick your ass out of class looking like that. I don't care where he is. Go and get Joe. Oh, you think I'm a student? I say. PFH mockingly. Oh, I'm gonna pretend I'm not a student now, sitting in the office with a university sweatshirt and a book bag. What group are you in? Because Joe will be very interested to hear how inept you are. I'm like, book bag? Oh yeah, the diaper bag. Lol. At this point, I decide to ride this out and hope he comes back and sees it in progress. Okay, let's say I'm a student. Why do you think I work here? That was exactly the wrong, or right, depending on your point of view, thing to say. The lady came undone in a torrent of maniacal hissing and shrieking. Her vitriol knew no bounds as she directed it at me. The office staff, my husband's, all students except hers. The building itself, I've never seen such a tantrum. Give the baby for a few years. Excuse me. As she's having her meltdown, I moved out of the chair where I'd been sitting and sidled up to a photo of our wedding that Joe hung up. I leaned against that wall like a laconic cowboy with my foot up, arms folded, smirking. Unsurprisingly, she didn't notice the similarities between the beaming bride and the dumpy, sleep-deprived chick standing before her. But I remained committed to the con. After several moments of a non-stop torrent of verbal abuse, Joe's not even fit for community college. How the F did he get a job here was the one that made me chortle. She did not like that much. I hear a flurry of footsteps come flying down the hall. The admin assistant sliding through the door like a Kramer, face as white as a sheet. I ask her if Joe Jr. is okay. Another coworker had him in another office because they had heard PFH and didn't want the baby self to learn what madness lurks in the world at such a tender age. She has exactly enough time to answer yes before PFH unleashes the Kraken in her direction via the ineptitude of moi, clutch pearls. Wait, what are you talking about? That's Mrs. Me. Me, still posed up like the Marlboro man, points at the picture. And right on cue, here comes your man of the hour, Joe, complete with Joe Jr. in arm. The coworker holding the baby had called his cell phone and told him what was happening, and to get back here ASAP. Joe is livid, but that eerie, scary story sort is a schadenfreude, lover's delight when directed at a deserving recipient. He handed me the baby and asked if I was all right, then turned to PFH. Joe said, "Get out. Do not come back until I've spoken to your department chair. I'm going to lunch." Boy, do I have a story to tell you. And out the door we swept, off to lunch, where we got pizza and migraines from laughing so hard. At this time, I don't know what action's being taken against PFH, but if asked, I will sure be happy to give testimony. Edit 1. Thank you so much for the silver, friends, and I promise all of you guys I'll update this every step of the way. I have no idea how long these things take, or if they'll want to talk to me, but I cannot wait to see how this goes down. Also, if you guys run into Joe, I never wrote this. You don't know anything, and this story is certainly not on the internet. Edit 2. And gold, are you kidding me? I've never even gotten that on my real account. Maybe you'll start using this one. I'll skip the edits that are talking about awards and go to the updates. Update 1. Okay, Joe talked to the head of the Department of Engineering, and turns out PFH is an associate professor from hell, and therefore untenured. Joe is leaving for a conference tomorrow and won't be back until Wednesday, so I probably won't know more until then, but stay tuned. Update 2. Admin Assistant is gathering up a paper trail of literal papers that the PFH has submitted that she isn't allowed to, and checks that she's signed, but she can't sign. She'll also be forwarding all abusive emails from PFH and making a written statement on PFH's behavior. Joe will probably send the emails he's received to HR and the department chair, but he's not as heated now as he was before, on his own behalf, but still livid about the way the staff are being treated, as he was the other day, and might not press too hard except in the support of the staff. Final update. Not a very exciting update, but the admin assistant has submitted her complaint to the HR. PFH's department chair suggested to her that she not contact Joe's department, not for the least of which reason the thing she's trying to do can only be done by the students, and she overtook their responsibility in an effort to mega ultra micromanage them. Q surprised that she treats her students like that and usurped control of a student-led group. In all likelihood, this process will drag on for some time, and she'll probably get a slap on the wrist for both offenses.
I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, it helps the channel a lot. See you next time.